Hello again, and welcome to, well, that didn't work, Legend of the Five Rings. This is our Warriors Path campaign, and my name is Percy. I'm the GM, and I wanted to open up with a sort of apology from our previous episode. I did use the term ETA quite a few times. About halfway through the episode, we kind of realized what that was and that we shouldn't do it, but we didn't address it in the episode, so I wanted to address it right now at the front end of episode 4 and say that we're not going to use that term anymore. We know that is an offensive term, and we want to stay as far away from stuff like that as we possibly can. I didn't realize that at the time. I hadn't got to that point in the Emerald Empire book, but thankfully another member of our crew had, and he let me know, and we were able to rectify that for the rest of that episode. But we are instead going to go with the name the Silent Ones to describe people who touch the dead bodies and do those types of things, just to kind of give them a distinction apart from the other lower class people in this world. So beyond that, we're going to pick up today in Toshiranbo. We're still in the city. And the last thing that we saw was this Bushi character. It was a Bayushi who had turned wolf, was no longer claiming the Scorpion Clan, but had turned wolf, who Isawa, Utaku, and Mirumoto had a pretty lengthy conversation with in the sake house there in Toshiranbo. Had committed seppuku on the bridge where the Akoto magistrate and Shosuro Junji had been killed, supposedly by peasants, in an attempt to sort of absolve his family of whatever crime he may have committed or been involved with. There's a debate at the table right now as to whether or not that works, but we won't get totally into that. That's more of a meta conversation that we've been having in the background, and I'm sure that you think some of those things too. So just know we're also talking about it, and don't worry, I haven't spoiled anything for them yet either. So without further ado, let's reintroduce your characters. It's been a month since we've seen them, especially live. So Rick, who are you? What are you doing? Give me kind of a brief description of what you look like as well.
My name's Diphthong Mirumoto. I'm a Tagashi monk. What do I look like? Well, a younger version of this, actually. Which, for those on the podcast, I would be bald. I'd have a goatee that wouldn't be gray, because I'd be a young man. I would probably be wearing just a regular peasant's shirt with some baggy trousers, the tie-up kind, some sandals, probably tall sandals, not made of leather. And I would probably most likely be carrying a bag for my worldly goods. I would be wearing a wakizashi and a katana because I am a samurai, and one of my loves is armaments because of my family history and my personal history. I would have a tattoo of a volcano around my neck because the Tagashi monks have tattoos, and that's where they get some of their Kiho power from. So that's about what I would look like, and I'm interested in this session.
Excellent.
With more of the Yama.
Yeah, Mirumoto Diphthong. Very nice to have you. Chris, tell us about your character. What are you wearing at this here L5R red carpet?
I am Kakita Asamu, and I am a crane duelist here, so of course I'm always dressed very, very fancy.
Very fancy.
The most distinct thing about him, I guess, is that his wakizashi and katana have different handles.
Okay.
Because I have my own wakizashi, but I have my brother's katana. I was staying with them when the flood hit, and I lost all them. I lost my own katana, so I found his, so I have his katana, so they look different.
Yes, and your brother is deceased, correct?
Yes, his whole family is deceased, yeah.
All right. Utaku. It's Utaku Kiteo.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Kitao.
It is your name. You tell me.
Oh, we'll say yes.
Okay, cool. So, Kevin, tell me about your character. What do you look like? Tell us about you.
I'm a Taku. I am a battle maiden. I'm pretty fair skinned. I dress pretty much like it is on page 86. So the
core rulebook.
Of the core rulebook.
Okay, cool.
So the purple laminal armor, that nice fur.
Yeah.
caller, if you will. I get displeased very much about like double talk. I am a very straightforward person. I tisk a lot to show my displeasure.
Okay.
And
Nice.
Tisk.
Tisk.
I carry around a katana. I also have a spear and a bow.
Okay. So is katana your weapon?
Yes, I did not choose the scimitar, even though I was tempted.
Okay.
I am very loyal to my family. I pride them a lot, and my major goal is actually to become the Unicorn Clan champion.
Yes. Okay. Now, is this? I can't remember if this was the character you were telling me about, or if it was another one. That like your preferred weapon is the spear or the naginata. Is that correct?
Yes, it would be.
You don't have a naginata, but that's kind of like
correct.
what you would prefer to.
I would. That is definitely what I would prefer.
Okay. Cool. So, Mike, tell us about your character. What are they wearing? Just give us a refresher.
Isawa Ari, and he is a Shugenja, so he's one of the kind of the priest caste.
Yeah.
But he's more from a line of magic, and he's with the Phoenix clan. So, unlike a lot of priests, one thing that you'll notice about him is he does carry a katana. He has his wakatashi, but he also carries a katana. It is almost never drawn. He prefers.
Well, yeah, you can make fire swords on your own.
Exactly. He prefers other avenues, but he does have it in case he absolutely needs to. And he's a bit older than the rest of the crowd. He's what was called seasoned in the book, in the core rule book, and he's gone around on a longer walkabout than everyone else, and he spent a little bit of time as a Ronin because of this. So that was. Yeah.
Sorry, now that we've broken the silence, I was telling you to take the cap off and like leave it off.
That's okay, because when I was looking at the live stream, you're over there shaking your fist like it's nobody's business. And now we've got it twice. That's what stopped me in my tracks. As I looked down just at that moment,
That's
I'm
funny.
like, wow.
I've got one thing to say.
So I'll get back into my description here.
Leave the cap off. Cap off. There we go. Now we're in money.
I know. I'm so scared that I'm going to knock it over.
So again, he's a little bit older. He doesn't wear like a full kimono kind of dress, outfit, but he's going to have more of the kind of the training top that you would see, and then have like the silken slacks, but they're in the colors of his clan, so more red and orange.
Okay, awesome. So you guys find Bayushi, and his first name is failing me right now, but that part didn't matter as much. You find him he had committed seppuku on the bridge, and the Silent Ones come and take care of all of that, and you guys eventually do go back to sleep. There's not really a whole ton of investigation to do around that. In fact, the magistrate asks you to go to the inn, get some rest out of respect for everything that has gone down this evening, and we'll pick up the investigation in the morning. So he forces you to do that, and with it being his kind of zone to be able to do that in, you are required to do so.
I missed the whole thing. I went to bed.
Yeah,
early.
you went to
I
sleep.
missed the
You're
whole
already
thing.
gone.
Yeah.
While you guys sleep, though, we'll kind of hear like a bassy screen shift, and there's a runner that leaves town and heads toward the stronghold village of Oiku, I think is the name of it. Oiku. That's fairly close to Toshi Ranbo. It is a village specifically built as a stronghold for the Lion Clan. It's a military outpost for them. This runner runs to Oiku and wakes up the leader of this village, which happens to be the Emerald Champion's brother, Akodo Arasu. Akodo, upon hearing the death of the Lion Magistrate, in Toshiranbo, which was a contested area, wakes up and musters his forces and begins marching in the night toward Toshiranbo. Meanwhile, another runner leaves in the opposite direction. Goes to another village nearby. This one's not, like, the name is not so important. It's just kind of a farming village, but he knows that one of the Emerald Magistrates is there. He's sent by the Crane Magistrate that's in Toshiranbo to go and let him know, hey, this is going on. We need some official business here. And so in the night also, this Emerald Magistrate is on his way to Toshiranbo. The sun rises, and the heat bouncing off of the mist makes everything kind of feel like a sweat lodge. The mist is thick, and the light outside is dazzling when you look out the window or go outside. Everything around feels very, very humid, and it's an exceptionally kind of musky day. You can already tell it's going to be a hard one to walk around outside in. It's not usually a day that you would travel during because of the way that the weather is running. As you wake up at the inn, though, nothing has happened in an adverse way yet. Your characters do not know that these things have happened in the night. So as you wake up, what do you do? I imagine, Kikita, you're the first one to arrive, having had the most restful night's sleep.
I'm very well rested, yes, indeed.
All right, so let's say you wake up with the dawn. Mm-hmm. You feel this kind of stickiness, but you're Crane. You're kind of used to that because you guys live on the coast. It's fairly commonplace. Yeah, exactly. In fact, you're actually probably feeling a little more comfortable because there's no salt in this mist. So it's wet, but it's not like tacky, which is good for you.
Okay.
So you wake up, and what's your kind of routine as you wake up? And this is the first time you slept here. It's kind of a strange space. What do you do as you wake up? How do you start your day?
Well, I, of course, have my small figurine of the fortunes, and I do my morning prayers, my morning exercises. Then I would probably go find a temple to spar with, to practice.
Okay.
A dojo to practice at.
Yeah, I think that's easy enough for you to find. You could find a kind of an empty dojo that hasn't been used and probably is in pretty bad repair right now. Or you could go to the guardhouse, which has some training equipment outside of it, so that the guards can kind of stay on their toes. Which one would you probably move toward more likely?
I will probably go to the quiet one, especially if that's closer.
Okay. For sure. Yeah, as you approach that, it like everything else in Toshiranbo, everything around it kind of seems in disrepair. Like we've kind of established before, there's no money to fix things. There's no money to keep people in town. So whoever was running this dojo has probably left. So when you enter it, it is truly empty. There are candles whose wax has been long dried and have not been lit in a very, very long time. And there are even sections of the I don't remember what the doors are called, but like the rice paper doors. There are sections of those that have been cut or are just kind of falling apart because of nature that have not been repaired, which kind of gives you a sense that, like, it's not like in the last couple of weeks that this has happened. This has been months of disrepair. But the space is yours.
All right. The first thing I'm going to do, I guess, is find a room if I can and start cleaning and organizing a bit. There may not be any equipment there, but I can at least clear off some space and make it somewhat more presentable.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's probably what you spend the majority of your morning doing, is kind of making that space accessible to other people who may want to come into it.
Probably. It's a form of quiet meditation, just the basic, mind the sweeping, cleaning, and organizing. It lets me refocus.
Exactly. Miramoto, I think you're probably the next person that wakes up.
I would immediately go down and find a quiet spot to meditate, and I would be meditating on Byushi. Okay. And the whole Wolf Clan, but the events of the day before, and especially his committing seppuku, because that's not something you decide yourself. That's
Right.
something that you have to get permission, and it's a ceremony.
Correct.
And the way he did it was very disrespectful and dishonorable.
Correct.
And if he had permission from his daimyo to do it that way, that's disturbing in itself, because up to this point I've had very favorable visions of Griot and just the whole Wolf Clan, and from some of my previous visions, but that is disturbing to me, and I'm going to be meditating, on that and try to get some clarity. I'm not going to invoke, Togashi's insight on this.
Yeah, not just yet.
But
would you go to the Shintao temple or just a kind of a quiet garden?
I don't need to go to a temple.
Okay.
I would go to a quiet garden. Actually, I might. I might go to a Shintao temple.
Okay.
And go into I'm a monk, so they'd let me in, immediately, and I'd go into to the garden, because they always have a garden, and that's where I would meditate.
Okay. Excellent. You can. I don't know how much wisdom you'd be able to gain, kind of as you're thinking through those things, but I think if you wanted to make me a meditation roll, what I think you could achieve by doing that is to almost prepare yourself for whatever action is required, if that makes sense. So kind of like if you succeed on this, you would kind of have a free opportunity going forward.
Okay. In a social check.
That would let you, as you're interacting with these kind of happenings, especially things centering around this intrigue that's been going on, you'd be able to use that opportunity in one of those checks to just kind of, if you needed it for some reason.
I'm going to use Earth, because one thing that we're always looking for in Shinsei is the beginning. What's the root? So I'm looking for the root. I'm trying to figure things out. Okay. Success.
Now you get to keep 3 of those dice,
Correct. There's
and you only need the one success.
Strife on all of them.
You only need one success to get that opportunity going forward.
Is there a benefit to having more greater?
Not on this particular roll, and there's nothing really you could do with opportunity beyond
Okay.
taking away strife. But
then I'll
everybody's strife is reset, by the way, if you hadn't already done that.
Okay. Well, then I'll just, if there's no benefits to getting more bonuses, then I'll just take the one success.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, go ahead and in some way, whether it's putting a die in front of you with an opportunity on it or something, mark that you have that opportunity to spend later on. Excellent. So I think in whatever order for Utaku and Isawa, maybe you guys wake up same time or whatever. Do you guys have any kind of differentiation in your morning routine from what you've already kind of heard?
I'm probably going to go put on traveling clothes and just go ride for
Okay.
a while to clear my...
So kind of that is your meditation, is get on your horse and
taste.
Okay.
Because
Interesting.
yes, the taste of because in my mind I kind of stood up and tried to in the conflict between Isawa and him, tried to alleviate it, even though I was a little forceful.
Yeah.
So doing that, I feel like it's I need to clear my head, because he's dishonored both himself, his clan.
Yeah, so it's like
and
the
whatever
things,
lord he either used to he was following or claims to follow.
So like the things that have happened have kind of it's got you feeling some kind of angst and anxiety that you want to clear out.
I wouldn't say angst, but it's just clear my head and just get the thoughts out of my head.
Okay. I think meditation and maybe water.
Okay.
make sense for something like that, just to be able to. And I think there's not necessarily, kind of like with Miyamoto, there's not really a ton of like mechanical benefit to making this check, other than you can have an opportunity going forward. Now, alternatively, you can make a tactics check with air to try to spot something.
Oh, alternatively.
Yes. Yeah, you can either use this time to completely zone out of anything else going on and just mindlessly ride, or you can spot something. And it's kind of up to you. Like, if you spot something, you get information. If you meditate, you get that opportunity to use later. So it's
just running through my head, which probably I probably won't be completely mindless while riding. So yeah, I'll spot.
Okay, so roll tactics plus air.
So exploding.
And you do need 2 successes to beat this one.
I did not, but I have 2 opportunity.
Okay, so 2 opportunity with air. You can alleviate strife. What else can you do with air opportunities? I gotta get my cheat sheets back out. Yeah, so with air, you can do things like learning demeanors, but you can't really see anybody. I'll say you can spend 2 opportunity to notice an interesting detail about a character in the scene. So I'll say you don't notice what I think I wanted you to notice.
All right.
But because the mist is so thick and heavy, it's kind of why you don't see that. I think what you do see is you see some of the plants nearby have been recently foraged.
Okay.
Which is kind of odd at this time of morning. Like, animals probably wouldn't do that at this time of day.
But doesn't mean villager wouldn't.
Yeah. That's just the thing you notice that stands out to you. That, like, somebody's been by here recently.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Isawa, how about you?
Isawa had a rough night before going to bed. So, to say the least...
Which, did I ever give you any glory subtraction for unmasking there?
Yes, you did, actually.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I intended to, but I couldn't remember if I did.
Yes, you did. But I think instead of his normal routine, which would be to go kind of meditate and kind of reconnect with Akami, and just in general, he's going to turn to what he knows settles him.
Okay.
And I'm not doing this from a mechanical perspective, but again, as a character, he's going to go what settles him, which is he's going to sit down and kind of reflect on how he could have dealt with the situation the day before or the night before while enjoying a cup of tea.
Okay. Does he make the tea or does he order it at the end?
He's going to order it.
Okay.
He's just going to order it. So this is more like just self-reflection of what was going on. By extension, he may have his mind wander to a little bit of the Wolf Clan. What's going on? Why is this taking place?
All right. So I think you mostly just kind of enjoy that tea. Is there anything with that advantage that would proc at this point your desire for tea?
There isn't. Like I said, I'm not doing this from a mechanical perspective. This is just more of a thematical.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. As the morning kind of wanes on, you sense a tension about the guards. I think Kakita, as you're leaving the dojo, you've cleaned it up enough where you were able to do some practices on your katas and just kind of remembering the things you're supposed to remember, doing the general dueling practice that you would do as a duelist. As you're kind of walking back toward the was it like the Roaring Tempest? I can't remember what I called this inn. The Brooding Tempest. As you're walking back to the end of the Brooding Tempest, you just kind of get a sense of tension from the guards on duty that wasn't there when you left in the morning. When you kind of were walking by in the morning, they were easygoing. They were maybe eating some fruit. They were just doing their normal everyday stuff. But as you're walking by now, they're standing at attention, and they're very observant toward you, making sure to kind of eye you up and down as you're walking across this bridge back toward the inn. And even Miramoto, you get some of that sense as well. Even though you don't have to go across the bridge to get to the inn, you see that they've got their eyes on you. And it's not on you in particular. Like, as other people are walking through, the guards are very, very attentive toward every movement that's going on in the city right now. Asawa, I don't think you probably noticed this. You've probably been in the inn for most of the morning as you think and drink the tea, so I don't think you noticed any of this. But Utaku, you get stopped on your way back in. The guards cross their spears and ask you to stop, and one says, I am very sorry, Lady Utaku. I cannot let anybody into Toshiranbo today.
Why would you not inform me that I would not be allowed back in when I left?
Circumstances have changed since your departure.
What has changed?
Unfortunately, I am not at liberty to discuss this at will. One of the farmers should be able to put you up until this blows over. Again, I apologize.
And you will gather my thanks.
We will send for somebody to gather your things. If you'll point out which house you're staying in, we will make sure they're delivered to you.
The Roaring Tempest?
Yes. The
Right.
Brooding Tempest.
Brooding Tempest, sorry. The Brooding Tempest.
Yes. We will, I promise you, this is as much an inconvenience for me as it is for you, I assure you, but I cannot let anybody into the city today.
Just to refresh my memory, are these Lion Guard or are they...
Yes, they're lying. Of course they're lying.
You roll me a culture check.
Okay.
And I think with the observation you're trying to make, Earth would work. Also, maybe Void.
Oh, what am I kidding? I don't have culture.
Well, you're rolling the wrong dice if you don't have culture.
That's
the
right.
white dice are skill dice. The black dice are your ring dice.
But I like those rolls.
Yeah. And you need one success.
Got it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
You notice that while the guards of Toshiranbo are generally pretty neutral, like they wear just plain laminate armor most of the time because they're just on guard duty. It's no big deal. You notice that kind of under the plain laminate armor, you see the sky blue of the crane on their undergarments.
I'll wait here until you
Not
gather...
undergarments, not like underwear, but like the clothing underneath the armor.
I'll wait here until you have gathered my thanks.
Ask a question. Would that not be normal? Isn't it a crane city?
It's a contested city.
But isn't it still under the jurisdiction of the crane, even though...
No.
No? Okay.
It's a city in contest entirely. So while many of the members of the city are crane, there are also many that are lion. So it's a city in contest, and in fact, Toshiranbo itself is more in the lion territory than it is in crane, physically and geographically. But that doesn't matter.
Crane city.
But it's a crane city.
Did you crane your neck to tell me that?
Yeah. So he calls the stable master and asks him to send one of his stable hands to go and get your things. And about the time that they approach with your whatever belongings you had, I don't know what you had in the inn, but whatever
It
it
would
was.
have been my armor because I just put on traveling
Oh, that's
robes.
right. That's right.
Would we have observed them picking up his things?
Yes, you would have seen as they picked them up and left. And in fact, if you want to follow, free to do so.
I will do so. Can I query them?
They're not samurai, so they kind of just give you the hearsay that you want to hear. They don't know any information. They know that they were asked to come pick up Lady Utaku's belongings, and that's it.
Where are you taking Otaku's belongings?
Honored Samurai, they are requested on the city wall.
Do you know why?
No, I apologize. I did not feel it appropriate to ask.
Is she okay?
She looked to be in good health, yes.
Do you mind if I accompany you?
Absolutely not. Honored Samurai, please, you are free to do whatever you wish.
Okay.
All right, so you follow?
Yes, the city seems a little uneasy this morning. Is something going on? Has something happened that I should be made aware of?
I do not know. I apologize. I don't generally get the privilege of knowing information of things that go on really inside or outside of the city.
Is your superior at the where you're taking?
I work for the stable master.
The stable master. Oh,
Yes.
I'm familiar with the stable master. Okay. So I'll realize I'm not going to get much, and I'll follow.
Okay. Does anybody else follow Miyamoto, or do you guys stay in the inn?
I may not be at the inn just yet.
Okay.
I've been somewhat laboring, so I'm taking a long way right to make sure I pass through Torii Arches to become more spiritually clean so I can be presentable when I meet on later in the day. So it's taking me probably a little while to get back to the inn.
Okay. Sounds good. What about you, Isawa?
I think, again, Isawa's still kind of just reflecting on things. He's oblivious to what's going on outside right now. So, metagaming wise, unless somebody gets me.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, so Miyamoto, you follow this.
His horse jumps the wall.
Problem solved.
That's right.
Maybe my horse intimidates.
Miyamoto, you follow this peasant to the gate, and he presents the samurai guards with your belongings, and they present them to you. And apologize again. Again, Lady Utaku, I apologize deeply. I hope this does not
That's the last favor I do for the crane.
favor.
I helped the magistrate the other day, as I said.
I see. I
What-
think
I will vouch for that.
I think no. I know that you did. I think I need you to make a roll for the very clear jab you just made. I think culture and fire.
Why do I keep looking to see what culture dice I have? Hold on. Make sure. Double checking my things for. Okay. So 2 successes and an opportunity.
Okay,
Ooh,
wow.
Very good on 2 dice.
The insult is very clear, and you impose quite a bit of strife on them.
Why is Lady Atako being barred from the city?
Miyamoto, it is Miyamoto. Is it Sama-san? I can't ever remember.
It would be Sama if he's not a... Yeah.
Miyamoto-sama. It is not just Lady Taku. No one is being allowed to enter the city.
And why is that?
That information is privileged toward the magistrate. He may be willing to divulge that, but he has asked us to not say anything.
I see. And you feel that includes Lady Utaku, who has been helping us in an investigation for...
My lord did not give
Lord
any exemptions for his request, and when he says everybody, I take that literally. Yes.
I understand. I will see what I can do to help Lady Taku and find out what is going on.
So as
He
you
is
guys
obeying
are,
orders.
he is, yes. As you guys are having this conversation, though, another person on horseback with 2 retainers trailing behind him, 2 samurai retainers trailing behind him, approaches toward the gate, and kind of you see him come out of the mist, and it's almost like the mist separates for him. He is wearing the maw of a crab. Yeah, crab on horseback. How you feel about that, unicorn boy?
No, I was just thinking of soft-shelled crabs, and baby crabs shouldn't leave the wall.
So he comes in.
It stinks. It stinks bad.
He's wearing the maw of a crab, but it's on kind of it's like a gold medallion that's kind of chained with a silk blue cloth around his neck, and coming down on the other side is the mark of an emerald magistrate. So he's got kind of the two mons on medallions, and underneath that is a white kimono, underneath which is some like blue accents that you can see. And so he looks very, very regal, very official, and very powerful. And behind him, you see the two retainers are a dragon samurai as well as a unicorn samurai.
Miramoto, or would I know at this point?
They're kind of too far away. Their mons are normal. They're sewn into the uniforms. His are very big, very bold, just to make absolutely clear to anybody who sees him, don't F with me. He approaches the gate and looks to you and nods. Utaku.
Yes.
It's good to see another unicorn. Your battle sister has been very good to me.
Ah.
And you do see like the crab he's wearing the clan. So you would call him Crab-san. So you don't see a family name on him. He's wearing specifically the crab mon.
Okay. So I see the unicorn closer. Can I tell that he's referring to the unicorn riding with him?
Yes.
So it's
and she's also Utaku. She is a battle maiden.
Crab-san. That is good. That is always good to hear. He said in Greek, so
yeah.
It is good to see you.
It looks as though we are being barred from entering the city.
I have been too, and I was just in the city and went for a morning ride today.
I see.
But they've gathered my things, and I guess I'll depart this evening.
Would I have left already?
No, you're still
I'm
there.
still there.
Yeah, this is happening like he approached as you were having that conversation with the guard. He turns to the battle maiden next to him and says, and you do recognize her. I don't have like a name for her yet, but
Utaku.
Yeah, Utaku, of course.
That's very easy to have a name.
He turns and looks to her and says, you can vouch for our traveling friend here. Please, guards, I was sent for by your magistrate late in the night. My name is Hida Asamoka, and I am here on behalf of the Emperor. And please allow my traveling companion here to enter with me. And they move their spears and bow really, really low and move out of the way, promptly allowing the four of you to enter the gate.
All right. I will follow.
Okay. And we're here assisting the Emerald.
So you came by instruction of the Ruby Champion.
Right.
To just come here and assess what was going on. You guys don't actually have a title that lets you do anything.
But we're studying to become an Emerald Magistrate.
You are studying you're in the very beginning stages. So these two people that are with the Emerald Magistrate, you would know are what's called a Yoriki, which is the assistant.
Well, he's smoky, so of course he
it's like assistant to the regional manager. They literally perform investigations wherever they go on behalf of a specific Emerald Magistrate, so that when that magistrate does his rounds and comes around to those villages, he can make judgment calls based on what they've already found out. So they're usually stationary. They were probably with him reporting in whatever village he was in last night, but they came with him because this whole thing seems to have been, just gone to hell. So they came with him in this instance. There are no Yuriki in Toshiranbo because there were 2 clan magistrates looking after the place. So there wasn't really a whole lot to be monitoring beyond that. So that they're Yuriki. They're kind of what you're currently striving to be. Even the 3 that came with you, which we haven't really addressed that they're even here in a while. I think probably intentionally I let them kind of fall by the wayside. They're doing their own side of investigation and doing their own stuff. Mostly because I don't want to have 3 voices that I'm trying to keep track of every 10 seconds.
Fair. Yeah.
But I wanted to use them as a vehicle to get you guys to Toshiranbo, not necessarily as the key plot points. So I've kind of let them be investigating in the farms and other outlying villages and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of, they're not even at Yuriki level yet. Once you are hired by an Emerald Magistrate, that's when and they get to choose those people. The Ruby Champion is kind of grooming you so that an Emerald Magistrate might choose you, and so that maybe the Emperor will choose you as magistrates one day. It gets very political.
Yeah,
very political.
They do investigating just to find out the samurai was right all along.
Yeah, even the Emerald Champion can't declare you as magistrates. He can nominate you as magistrates, but the Emperor ultimately has to decide. Yeah, it's real. The Emperor sometimes appoints magistrates to jab at clans. It's very funny. He's reportedly appointed Ronin at times because he was unhappy with how the clans were operating. Yeah, it's very fun.
Very good.
So that's your history lesson.
I know, of Rokugan.
Just kind of give you an aspect of this guy is an Emerald Magistrate. These people are not. They are helpers to him. They don't get to make judgment calls. They don't have the diplomatic immunity that he has, but they do work directly for him. He is their lord, as a manner of speaking.
Okay.
And they do stuff by his authority.
Yes, exactly. They do kind of work. They're ambassadors for an Emerald Magistrate.
There's deputies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, they enter the city. You said you kind of follow them for a moment. I think eventually they don't tell you to leave.
Oh no, I'll restable my horse, but
Yes.
leave my stuff packed on the horse.
Yeah, so they intentionally don't get off their horses, and they
Correct.
keep going toward the buildings, which is not normal and usually not okay. But you can tell things seem a little bit rushed.
Yeah, Taka, there's a lot of tension in the city. Do you know anything that's going on?
No,
So some berries got picked. I don't know.
I just
What
went for a
kind of
morning. I
berries?
just went for a morning ride to clear my head of it's best. Those without honor don't deserve a name. Forget it.
All right, so that's kind of where you guys are sitting right now. What do you do? Where do you go? You two, Miramoto and Utaku, are the only ones that know that there is an Emerald Magistrate in the city now.
I'm going to go find Isawa.
Okay, easy enough. He's in the inn.
Okay. Isawa. Oh, I see you're enjoying your morning tea.
Again.
Still.
Kakita, would you be back by this point?
I'd be there now and ready. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna go find something to eat.
At the inn?
At the end.
Yeah,
Sure.
Hey,
Okay.
I made my statement to the guards.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. You're they're letting them haha, sass. Try to stop me now.
But I'm not helping you.
I said it.
You did.
Last favor.
I don't know if that was so much a favor as anyway.
I had no obligation to help.
No, that's true. That's true. All right. Cool. So you guys are all kind of at the table eating, which I get the image of the end of the Avengers, where everybody's like sitting at the table eating shawarma.
There's an Emerald Magistrate in town, and he said he was called by the local magistrate to come quickly.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I would
Something happened
I would
tonight?
imagine so if another magistrate was killed in the town, and then the killer was known to be an honorless Ronin.
Yeah, that would.
That was, I think that's very funny, and I think it makes sense that like here's like these guys are all training to be Emerald Magistrates, and they're like, let's figure this out, and you're like, duh.
But that does not explain
All right,
why
fine.
My
the
zero
entire-
culture character.
But it's like, but it was just like I think the scene played out as awkwardly as it did right here at where you just like blurt out what everybody already knows.
And at that blurt, that's
Yeah.
that's where Asawa's going to kind of look more up towards everyone at the table and say, Miyamoto-san, Ukata-san.
I'm just saying,
Utaku.
Utaku-san.
You posed it. I answered. Utaku.
I must apologize for my actions last night. I have spent much time in reflection this morning. I allowed someone without honor to temporarily take mine.
That is true.
I think there is more at stake here than what any of us are aware of.
Yes, because the whole town is on edge.
This thought of a new clan that almost spits on normal tradition.
Another new clan?
The wolf.
They're here?
The
There was one
He
last
wasn't
night.
there.
I wasn't the info.
There was a Ronin last night that caused me to lose decorum. I believe is how you put that best.
Sure. Me no good with no words. It's okay. Decorum is the fitting word here, but
Ronin can
We
be
can't-
disturbing.
we can't. We should always we should always strive for our tenets, but we can't always meet them. Sometimes emotions flare. It happens.
This is very true. However, Kakita-san, this same Ronin took his life. He committed seppuku, but
One less Ronin in the
That's
world.
that's not the right term.
He
Just gutted himself in the
he-
roadway.
he attempted seppuku.
he committed seppuku, just not ritual seppuku.
I stand
that
by
is-
my statement.
seppuku is the ritual.
Yeah.
I stand by my statement. He just gutted himself in the roadway.
And I believe he is the one who killed the magistrate.
Or hired the ones that killed the magistrate. But it was at the tip of his sword. I don't believe he was there. I think he hired the ones that did it.
That's very true.
That would be a very Scorpion thing to do.
I thought you said he was a Ronin.
He wore the garb of a scorpion, but he also wore the pelt
He
of
had
a
the
wolf.
Bayushi Mon.
He was a Scorpion before he became Ronin.
We all hail from somewhere.
So he still could be Scorpion.
That's true.
Yes, that is very true. But he claimed to be part of this new wolf clan of Griot. Remember when we met Griot?
I remember Griot very well.
Yes, I know. He disturbed you. This would be very... He would have... Bayushi would have disturbed you also.
I imagine so.
Oh, you just disturbed our friend over here very much.
I'm not sure which is worse, Ronin or Scorpion. This
And now
man
you
appeared
have
to be
two.
both.
Ronin are okay, for the most part, if they're searching for their new lord. Those who claim that they found their new lord and are serving them, a little different. They're not recognized as a lord.
We have to find out their intentions and what they're, before I can make a judgment. But it does disturb me also.
And kind of as you say that, the other Utaku, the other battle maiden who had come in with the Emerald Magistrate, walks through the door of the Inn of the Brooding Tempest and approaches the four of you sitting at your table. And you can see, like, kind of her armor is very well polished, which is kind of unusual for a unicorn. They're very usually kind of wild a little bit, but it seems like she's spent quite a bit of time in Crane lands, kind of mingling with their people, and has picked up some of their habits of cleanliness and things like that. She's just picked up some things that Crane usually look down on unicorn for, so that she can fit more into those areas.
She's also working for Emerald Magic.
She is working for the Emerald. Yeah. No, there's a lot of reasons as to why she is doing things the way she's doing them, but just to give a description of, like, normally unicorn come off as very wild, but she's very, like, appropriate postures and wearing weapons the right way and doing, like, she looks like a normal samurai but wearing unicorn garb. Gotcha. Where normally unicorn look kind of like samurai but also look very much like unicorn. So she approaches the table and greets you, Utaku-sama. It's so good to see you again. It's been a long time since those battlefields.
I know. How many years?
What was the big battle that you did?
I don't think we named it, but we... Trouncing Lions? Oh, wait. I believe I wrote it down.
Trouncing Lions?
The Battle of Trouncing Lions?
The Battle of Trouncing Lion, Snicker, Snicker, Cavalry. Snicker, Snicker. Those... it's funny to see a lion ride a horse.
Do you say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably not for the horse.
I don't think that you're going to think that later today, but regardless, my master has requested your audience in the chambers of the magistrates. Would you mind joining me there? All four of you.
Oh.
I have no problem. I will just have to get changed. I'm in my traveling garb, so...
Sure. If you would like to change into your ceremonial uniform, time will allow for that.
I'm in my traveling garb also, and I will...
Seeing as you were so kind as to speak for me, to allow for them... Your lord was kind enough to speak for me to re-enter this town.
Well, we couldn't let another sister sit out in the heat of this day.
I appreciate that.
All right, cool. So you change. Does everybody
no, I don't
get
change.
Oh, you don't. I'm also wearing my traveling garb, and this is what I'm staying in.
This is what I always wear. These are my finer clothes.
That's fair.
If I would have gone like this if they didn't speak up for me. So.
Sure. Kakita and Isawa, are you guys going to follow?
Yes.
My ceremonial clothes.
And I will
'Cause that would've
definitely
been a
be in
little
my
spiteful.
ceremonial.
Yeah. You guys dress up as much as you can. So you enter the magistrate's offices, and you see the Crane magistrate sitting at the standing, kind of close to that back wall, similar to where you saw him when you first entered this building, when you first got to Toshi Rambo. Not you, Utaku, but the rest of these guys. And you see standing in front of him is the Emerald Magistrate, the Hida... What did I call him? Hida Osigawa, who he gave you that given name, but you probably should still stray away from that. I think he was giving that more as like a clarification mostly for podcast listeners, because it'll get really confusing if every crab is Hida. So you see them kind of standing across from each other, and as you enter, the Emerald Magistrate turns back toward you and greets you with just kind of a slight bow, and of course you're expected to bow much, much deeper than
Yes, I will. I can't quite do that. There's a mic in the way.
that. Yeah, sure. I don't want you to physically bow.
No, bow now, now.
I will bow deeply. I will bow deeply in return.
Not bow wow, bow now. I am greetings, samurai. It is good to meet you. I'm told by our friend here that you are working with the Ruby Champion.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
That
we
is
are.
correct.
Perhaps not you, Lady Utaku, but I wanted to extend an offer to you as we attempt to maintain control and order here in Toshiranbo.
What can we do to help?
Until the Ruby Champion gives you another assignment, would you be willing, and of course this is a highly contested city, I know it's an uncomfortable place to be, but I need eyes and ears here. And you did a fantastic job rounding up as many clues and as much evidence you could leading to the Bayushi Ronin who committed the crimes against the Akoto magistrate. Would you be willing to become Yoriki for a temporary time until you are given another task by the Ruby Champion? It's simply a temporary deputizing that would allow you to freely roam in and out of the city as you need to investigate matters as they progress.
And this would be okay with the Ruby Champion?
Well, yes, simply because she cannot tell me no.
In that case,
I will deeply bow and say, "Be my pleasure."
Okay.
You were so kind as to get me back into town.
perhaps if we can find the root cause of this problem, we can solve it.
Well, I think the root cause is that both clans would like to enjoy this city. And he kind of eyes toward the Crane Magistrate. Now, I also need to ask you another favor. Do not let this city be taken by force.
Isawa would give a very inquisitive look, and by force, other than the lion that were here and the crane that's currently here, what force? We have not seen any force, although we have seen tension.
The Wolf Clan is the only other clans that I know in the area, and I don't see that happening. That doesn't make sense.
In the night, a runner went for the village of Oiku, a military outpost for the lion, and reported what happened here. The Emerald Champion's brother resides there and leads there. He is a masterful warrior and expert tactician, and also quite a hothead, as you can probably imagine. Lord Akoto is not willing to stand for his magistrate being brutally murdered, supposedly by peasants. And only a few miles out of the city right now stands the entire force of Oiku. We expect an attack before the end of the day.
Has anyone explained to him how his brother died?
Of course we have. And you notice right now that the dragon Yoriki is not here. You can assume I'm allowing you to assume from that he went to talk to them.
Right.
I didn't say that, but I feel like I need to.
Got you.
We have sent word, but with the tension already here in Toshiranbo and things already mounting to a high level of heat, I'm afraid that there's very little we can do, and to be honest, as far as Imperial law goes, very little that I could do to stop it. If it is war that Akoto wants with the Crane, I cannot force him to cease.
He has the Emperor's permission, then.
Due to the death of the magistrate, he believes that he does. And I could potentially arrest him, but I think another would stand in his place. He believes that he has the backing of the Emerald Champion, his brother, leading into this. I am not saying that I agree. That is why I cannot let him take this city.
It seems as if he views it, he is honor bound too.
Indeed. I will be staying as well. I will not leave you on your own to handle a master swordsman, a master at battle and tactic. And as we have already seen, and he does intentionally give a slight toward the Crane magistrate here, our leadership is lacking. Perhaps there is another that could stand in his place one day. But today, this is what we have.
I am deeply honored that you would place this trust in us.
These walls have never been taken by force before, and we don't intend to allow them to be taken today. However, keep as much peace as you can.
That is what we are all looking for.
And he kind of, at this point, he looks toward Kakita to get kind of a sense from you. Because you seem to be, and not in like I'm looking at Chris to see what Chris is thinking, but from the perspective of you are the Crane in the party.
Mm-hmm.
It's Crane lands that are about to be attacked.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to get a feel from you, and he's trying to maybe discern from you what your motives, thought process, things like that are.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to hide any of that?
No, not really.
Okay.
I'm obviously concerned and disturbed by this, but
Yes. Yeah.
I will say I understand, Hidesama. We will allow no unnecessary bloodshed.
Yes.
As much as we can.
And you are correct in assuming that the Emperor has not sanctioned this battle. It is a vying for revenge that Lord Okoto is seeking. This is why I need so many. The three of us who came into the city are not enough.
No. How many? There are guards all over the city. Will they not protect the city?
They will. They will.
It is a shame. Friendship is truly the only guarantee of peace. When-
Perhaps my other, I don't know, employee, I'm trying to think, like, because I don't want to give too many names out, but the dragon, perhaps your
Muramoto?
clansmen will come back with more favorable results. Perhaps we can reinstate a lion magistrate and resume business as usual here.
If you think it would help, I would gladly go speak to Akita-sama.
I think that Akoto,
Akoto-sama.
I believe that Akoto would take it as a,
No, not Akita! You dishonor me.
I believe that Akoto would take it as a slight if I sent a second messenger right now.
Possibly somewhat of my status, too.
Do you believe he will not? Do you think he will not believe that the Crane had nothing to do with this?
We will see how the day ends. I hope that you are right.
So
Perhaps it should be someone of my clan that meets him then.
Perhaps it should. Would you be willing to volunteer?
I would.
Then when they approach the city, we will sue for peace. And I will send you to negotiate. All right. Sounds like the tension is mounted enough.
Dun, dun, dun.
So let's go ahead and...
How do you tell the big guy no?
Yeah, how do you tell the big guy no?
Well, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and mask again. No.
So we're going to go ahead
no
and take
culture.
a break here, and we are going to start... this is, I guess it's a good place to announce this as any, that we're going to start releasing these as recordings, as 2 separate episodes during the month now. It won't change really how much L5R you're getting, but just disperse how long you have to wait between hearing the next bit if you're only listening to the recording. So because of that, we'll go ahead and record a next time. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep on adventuring. But if you're on the stream, stick around. We'll be back in about 10.
All right. And one of us will stick around on chat here for a little while.
Yep.